Our next candidate is David Stith. And both should be entering the room shortly.
No fighting.
David, you have your 7 minutes since your prepared questions, and we'll do the audience questions.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I want to tell you first, my name is David Stith. I'm running for the 148th District Court. That covers all of Nueces County. I don't know if my opponent told you that or not. So everybody in the county can vote for this court. A little bit about myself. I'm board certified in criminal law. I've been practicing law for 12 years. Practiced as both a special prosecutor and a defense attorney. So I've handled state and federal cases, just about every case you can imagine, from smallest misdemeanor up to probably the highest level felony you can think of. I want to take some time first to answer, if y'all don't mind, the last question first that my opponent wanted me to answer. And I got to tell you, I'm going to answer it fairly quickly because I don't think that's what we're here for. We're not here to bash on the other person. We're here really so y'all can hear about the issues and what we stand for. In the past, I voted for and supported Republicans and Democrats. I voted for those people that I had a connection to. I've been in the courts for 12 years, the people that I got to know. One of the candidates I served with, so when he was running, I supported him. So there's no big mystery there. But I got to tell you, it's exciting that we have people that are coming over to the conservative way of thought. We don't want to push people away and say, how long have you been a Republican? How long have you been a conservative? That's not what we're about, I don't believe. The party's growing and it's an exciting thing. And I'm certainly excited to be a part of it. And in that line of thought, I wanted to share with you an article I read the other day. And it was about the person who was the longest running district attorney in Texas. This man ran for 30 years unopposed. And in this article, it was something really special because the letters that this article contained were from judges, from attorneys that practiced with this man, and attorneys that practiced against him. And universally, what they said was, this man was not a politician. He didn't run on fancy speeches or push-button topics. He ran on the strength of his convictions, his dedication to the law, and his desire to do what's right. And I think that's what we're looking for in our public servants, right? We don't want, when we're going up, if you can imagine it, this is the most important day of your life. Imagine you're being sued, or you're suing somebody, or it's a civil case, or God forbid a criminal case. Do you really want to go up before a judge and think, oh my goodness, this man's a Republican, and I'm a libertarian or independent or whatever it may be? We don't want that from our local officials, do we? We want people, our judges, that are dedicated to doing the right thing, that are knowledgeable about the law, and will apply that law fairly and equally to all people that come before them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, I'm truly passionate for what I do. And in this race specifically, I did give money to the person I'm actually running against 4 years ago. I gave her a chance, hoping she would do the right thing, hoping she would grow into it, but that's just not the case. That hasn't happened. And it made it a little bit more difficult for me to finally decide to run against her. But I did. I made that choice. I saw that we needed a change. I saw so many things that were being done wrong in that court that I couldn't stand for it anymore. And so that's why I announced. Now, to answer the second question of what I would do differently, that starts in a really easy way. First, I believe that our public servants need to understand that they're there because we elect them, that it's not a higher position, that it's a job of public service, and that means to be a servant. And that means getting to work early. And that means staying until the job's done, no matter what time that is. And that's very important. If you can imagine right now, you might have a setting in that court at 9 o'clock or 8:15. You have 20 attorneys, most of them who might be court appointed, sitting there getting paid $80 an hour. And you're waiting for that judge to show up. That judge doesn't show up till 10:30. Can you imagine how much money is being wasted? Just recently in the news, you might have heard that there was a high-profile case in that court that got a mistrial. The reason for that is because no alternate jurors were selected, right? The judge didn't know the law, didn't pick the alternate jurors, and what happens was we lost 2 jurors. She didn't know that you could operate with only 11 jurors. Didn't continue the case on, and that case was a mistrial. It has to be started again. 3 lawyers, 3 defendants. Can you imagine how much more money that's going to take? Let me give you an example of how I want to save the taxpayers' money at a very simple, and I don't understand why a lot of judges don't do this. When you call that docket in the morning, you get time announcements. All of the matters that are agreed go first. All of the contested matters get set for their time. You release the attorneys. They're no longer on the payroll. You're going to save money that way. Right now, if you're a court-appointed attorney, you might spend 2 hours waiting for your case to be called. Again, $90 an hour, $80 an hour, whatever they pay. It's a lot of money that's being wasted. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do differently. Certainly, also you need to stay up on the law, and you need to apply that law fairly and accurately to every case, no matter who you are. If you just, a cursory glimpse at what's going on in that court right now will show you that that law is not being applied fairly and accurately. I wanted to share a little bit with you about my background. I don't want to go too much into it. I put some paperwork on the table that talks about my background, a little bit about my resume, and that's both in some Caller Times articles as well as in a push card. So I wanted to share with you something a little bit that's not on there, and how I got involved with the law. I remember this like it was just yesterday. I remember sitting at home and my dad got home and he told me he lost his job. This was back when he was in his early 50s. And instead of going to get a handout or government assistance, he went back to school and he got his law degree. I was going through undergrad at that time, and I saw that. He kept a full-time menial job supporting his family while he went to law school at night. 30 seconds, oh my. Wow, all right. But so we actually, when I ended up finishing school and finishing law school, we started our practice together in my old bedroom where I grew up. And we started that business from the ground up. Okay, by the time I left and he retired, we had an office. And I want to tell you that meant a lot to me. So I understand about payroll. I understand about the government and taxes. I understand about the government coming in and taking that money out of our pockets. And I'm done.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel about people who've been in trouble going into the military?
You know, I think that's a great idea, but here's the difficulty of that situation. And I've tried this a couple times. Sometimes you can get it to work, sometimes you can't. The deal is, when a person, let's say he's in trouble, for this court, it's going to be a felony. So it's going to be a pretty serious offense. In order for a person to get into the military, there cannot be any more court hold on that person. They have to be free and not under a pending charge. Otherwise, the military won't take them. But once you do that, you lose control over that individual. If that individual doesn't go into the military, they're back out. So that's the difficulty. If we're going to try to do that, which I think is very good, there has to be some changes made in how candidates will be accepted into the military. But I think it's a good idea.
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to welcome you to the side of life and truth.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering, since you have supported Sylvania in the past and you're not now, is there any expected backlash from that, and how would you handle that?
There has been backlash since I announced. I immediately transferred all my cases that I had in that court to other attorneys because it's not fair for my clients to receive the backlash. And there is, but that's part of it. You know, you don't run for office without expecting there to be some bumps and bruises along the way. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take the lumps as they come, and I'm going to unseat her in November. So I think we'll see what happens then.